Hello and welcome to Germantown Municipal Television's special coverage of Election 2020. My name is Colin Cardell, a student at Houston High, and I'm excited to bring you interviews with the Germantown Board of Education candidates. Joining me now is the only candidate for the Board of Education Position 1, Ryan Strain. Mr. Strain is a product of Germantown schooling coming from Dogwood all the way up to Houston. He is on the Board of Directors for Operation Broken Silence, and he is a lawyer who has a focus on civil litigation. He's here today to give us some insight into his plans as a Board of Education member for the city of Germantown. Mr. Strain, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
So if you'd like to just start off and tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Sure. Well, as you said, I grew up in Germantown. I went to schools that are now part of this district. I married my high school crush. We have 3 kids, very active boys, ages 7, 5, and 3. And I'm a lawyer. I've been practicing in Memphis since 2008. And my family moved back to Germantown in 2017 when my oldest was ready to start kindergarten.
All right. What compelled you to run for office?
I'd say my admiration for the district, a real desire to see it stay successful, and honestly, the fact that I graduated from these schools and will have children there. When my oldest started at Dogwood, I became involved quickly there, started attending some board education meetings and learned about the issues that they address there, and also got to know some of the board members. And with having a child in the school district for the next 16 years, I'm just really motivated to do whatever I can to help all Germantown students reach their full potential.
How do we keep the safeties of students a priority?
Well, we need to budget for it, plan for it, and always stay vigilant about it. One of my highest priorities as board member will be to secure the funding for the expansion at Houston Middle, which will include a more secure entrance at that school. GMSD already takes safety seriously. I know they involve students in that discussion. They have innovative security systems, and they also even have bullying prevention programs. I support all those initiatives, and I look forward to evaluating others that come our way. And then certainly in this time, we also need to think more than just traditional physical safety, but also about our students' health. And so I'm committed to do whatever we need through the end of this pandemic and going forward.
Social emotional health is key for students to learn at their full potential. How do you see the district fulfilling that obligation?
Well, learning at full potential is what we want for all of our students. And social emotional health plays a significant role in that. And the district needs to do what it can in that regard. We need to invest in our current counselors, help provide them with the resources they need to reach our students. And we also need to advocate for additional funding to provide more of that. But social emotional health doesn't start when students enter the school and doesn't end when they leave. So I'd also like to see the district continue to provide tools and materials that our parents and other caregivers can provide to students outside the home. I think a good example of that is a recent virtual forum on student mental health from just this past week. And again, we just also always need to encourage students when appropriate to seek outside help, whether that's from family members, mentors, health providers, or spiritual advisors.
As the district continues to grow, what's your vision for expansion in the future?
Like I said, I fully support the expansion at Houston Middle. I think that will help alleviate some of the overcrowding in the middle school grade bands. But expansion is not just about more bodies and seats. With expansion also comes a need for additional services. It also creates additional opportunities, whether that's classes or otherwise. And I think the district and the board need to pay attention to that, recognize the need for those, and help provide that, whether it's funding or planning.
Yes, sir. The Germantown Municipal School District is one of the best in the state. How do you plan to strengthen communication between the Board of Mayor Aldermen and the Board of Education and increase support for our schools?
I think a good working relationship between both boards is of vital importance. I think our citizens expect that. I think they want that. And I look forward to being a part of that. We're about to have 2 new members of the Board of Education. We'll have 3 new aldermen. I think it's a perfect time to sort of reboot that relationship and start that process again. again, I think we're not always going to agree on what needs to be done, but that's okay. I think when people who are working for the best of the community come together, good things happen from that, and I look forward to being a part of that.
All right. And do you have any last comments you'd like to leave us with?
Well, as you mentioned, we have one of the best districts in the state. That's not by accident. We have great students. We have exceptional teachers and administrators. I really look forward to being a small part of the district's success going forward and helping this district really take on a leadership role in the state.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for coming out today.
Thanks again. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. That's all the time we have for this interview. I'd like to thank my guest, Ryan Strain, who is running for Germantown Board of Education Position 1. If you'd like to watch more of our election coverage, please follow us on Facebook and YouTube at Germantown Municipal Television. You can watch us on Comcast Channel 17, AT&T Uverse Channel 99, and on our YouTube page. We'll be back with more interviews from the Germantown Board of Education candidates.